Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. We welcome you to our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Today we are going to start our new lesson in economics unit 3 production analysis. First, what is meant by production? Production is a process of using various materials and immaterial inputs in order to make output for consumption and other production processes which creates economic well-being. Production is the result of cooperation of four factors of production: land, labor, capital and organization. In economics, production refers to the creation or addition of value. So it simply transforms the inputs into output. So production is a process through which we may use material and immaterial. We may use some raw materials or manpower. All this comes under the inputs. So in order to make output, the finished products will be consumed by the consumers, and it also helps to increase our economic level. So in economics, it refers to the creation or addition of value. So it is going to create something new and it is going to add value to the products. So in simple words, we can say that it transforms the inputs into output. For example, cotton into clothes. Now the learning objectives of this lesson are: we are going to understand the various factors of production, its characteristics, the short run and long run production function we are going to discuss, and also we are going to discuss about the concept of supply. Now features of the factors of production. So factors of production means resources which an organizer is going to involve in the process of production of commodities. So there are four main factors: land, labor, capital and organization. First, land. Land represents natural resources such as soil, mineral deposits, seas, rivers, forests, fisheries. Next, labor represents human resources. So without human resources, nothing can be produced, isn't it? So these land and labor are called primary factors of production, because without land and labor, the producer can't produce even a small thing. Next, capital and organization are called secondary factors of production. These four factors depend on each other. So without even one factor, the producer or a firm can't produce a single commodity. So they have a coordinated impact on production of goods and services. Next, first we are going to discuss about land. If we ask to an ordinary person, land refers to the soil or the surface of the earth. But in economics, land is considered as the gifts of nature, and that land was owned and controlled by human beings, through which the person can yield an income. So it is considered as the original source of material wealth. In the previous slide we discussed about material and immaterial wealth. Land comes under material wealth. So the quality and quantity of agricultural wealth are determined by the nature of soil, climate and rainfall. In our previous chapters, we discussed about different types of soil and climate and the distribution of rainfall all over the country, isn't it? So the quality and quantity of the agricultural lands were determined by the nature of the soil. So if the soil is fertile only, it can be utilized for various purposes like cultivation, etc. Next one, agricultural products are the basis of trade and industry. So in industries lesson also we discussed different types of industries like agro-based, mineral-based and all in detail. So for certain industries, agricultural products are the basic raw material. For example, you can take textile industry, you can take sugar industry. So all aspects of economic life like agriculture, trade and industry are influenced by natural resources which are also called as land in economics. So in economics, all the natural resources comes under the topic land. Now what are the characteristics of land? Land is a primary factor of land. It is the basic of production. Next, land is a passive factor of production. Passive factor means the owner of the land is going to yield something from the land. Land is the free gift of nature. It has no cost of production. Land is fixed in supply. Inelastic in supply. It is fixed. It is permanent one, immovable. We couldn't move land from one place to another place. And heterogeneous. It contains various constituents like nutrients and minerals. The constituents of the land is not equal. So its fertility differs from one place to another place. Land has alternative uses. Land is subject to law of diminishing returns. So land is used for various purposes like construction of houses, or it may be used for cultivation or for constructing any industries like that. So land has alternative uses. Next we are going to discuss about labor. Labor is the active factor of production. So if in economics the word labor has wider meaning, so it refers to any work undertaken for securing an income or reward. So it is any type of work which is going to earn income or reward to the person who works. So it may be manual or intellectual. So manual means the person has to do some physical work, and intellectual means the person has to use his brain. So for example, the work done by an agricultural worker or a cook or a rickshaw puller or a mason, all these comes under manual. The work of a doctor or teacher or an engineer is intellectual. Here, labor in economics refers to any type of work performed by a laborer through which the person is going to earn some income. So according to Marshall, labor represents services provided by the factor labor, which helps in yielding an income to the owner of the labor power. So already we discussed that 4 factors of production are essential, isn't it? Land, labor. So labor is also one of the factor. So this factor helps to yield an income to the owner of that labor power. Next one, we are going to discuss about the characteristics of labor. First one, labor is the animate factor of production. So throughout the process of production, labor is essential and he is an active factor also. Labor implies several types, manual or intellectual. In the previous slide also we discussed about that. Labor is perishable. Labors may change. Labor is inseparable from the laborer. So we can't separate labor and laborer. Both labors depend on laborer and laborers depend on labors. Labor is less mobile between places and occupations. So they may move from one place to another place, and they may change their occupations also. Labor is a means as well as an end. That is, the labor is one of the cause of production as well as consumer of the product. Labor units are heterogeneous and labor differs in ability. So laborers may be skilled in various fields. Labor supply determines its reward or wage, and they have weak bargaining power. So they have weak demand power. They couldn't demand. Next one, we are going to discuss about capital. Marshall says that capital consists of all kinds of wealth, that is free gifts of nature, and it is a stock concept also. Stock which we have. All capital is wealth, but all wealth is not capital. So for example, if you are investing 10 lakhs, that is your wealth. But if you own a house for 50 lakhs or 1 crore, we couldn't consider that as a capital. So all capital is wealth, but all wealth is not capital. So for example, tractor is a capital asset which can be used in cultivation of farm, but due to some reason the same is kept unused, idle for some period, so it cannot be termed as capital for that period. It is only wealth. Okay, now capital is a man-made factor. Man only can invest the capital, and it changes between places and person. It differs, and it is a passive factor of production. It is inelastic. It is elastic, means flexible. It may be high or low. It may decrease or increase. Capital's demand is a derived demand. So if there is a demand for a particular product, then only the producer will invest more, and it is durable. Next, capital may be tangible or intangible. First, what is meant by tangible capital? So buildings, plants and machinery, factories, inputs, warehouses, roads, highways, these are all tangible capital. So here that word tangible means physical or touchable. We can touch that. Measurable also we can take. Now intangible capital. Intangible capital, examples for intangible or investment on advertisement. So how much we are investing on advertisements, expenses on training program for the workers. These things comes under intangible capital. Next one, financial capital, means assets needed by a firm to provide goods and services measured in terms of money and money value. So the things which are needed by a firm to meet the demand or to provide goods and services, which can be measured using money. So such capital is called financial capital. Next one, organization. An entrepreneur, a person who combines land, capital in the production to earn profit, is an organizer or an entrepreneur. An organizer is the most important factor of production, who is going to involve and utilize all the factors of production in the process. of producing the commodities. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest